in here armed with a six-string razor, and I understand. I don't know anything. I'm completely ignorant here. That he really surprised a lot of people and got a lot of attention the other night with Buddy Guy, the single best living guitarist on the planet today, in my opinion, and Eric Clapton's. Me and EC swap notes all the time. And his name is Skyler. I don't know if he's already gone to one name status. I'd not heard his last name until just a second ago when he told me that it was Ellis, Skyler, Ellis. And so, Skyler, good morning to you. Very glad to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Let me look at your hat. First of all, who you got signed?
Gary Bailey.
All right, so you're a motocross guy too?
Yeah.
A little Renaissance man.
Yeah, I guess.
So, all right, now be careful, maybe. You can break fingers on motorcycles.
Yeah.
You realize that, right?
Yeah, I definitely. I don't ride as much as I used to do, but.
All right. Tell me a little bit about Skyler. How in the world did you get picked out of the crowd and get up on stage with the living legend?
Well, I knew he was coming to town, and my great aunt actually got us tickets, so I had my guitar with me, and I went downtown and sat outside the stage door all day long for 4.5 hours in the rain.
Knowing that his people were seeing you if nobody else was.
Right, yeah. I mean, the tour bus was right. I was right next to the tour bus and everything.
And they can see out those darkened windows.
Right, you know, I knew everyone that was going to be there was going to be able to see me. Like, security guards were out there. Like, this kid really wants to see Buddy Guy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess word got around the building, and everyone started talking to his manager or whatever. And I don't know if his manager was there. I don't really know.
If it gets to Buddy, he is a very easy to get along with fellow.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he got there at about 7:40 at the least, and I was like, "Hey, Buddy," and we walked in together, and we went backstage into his dressing room, and he signed my guitar that I had with me. And
that would have been enough for most. Yeah,
definitely. I was like, I just got to meet Buddy Guy,
Yeah.
It's going crazy, and just went back to my seat, and went about my business and watched the show, and it was a great show,
Not texting, not bothering people.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah, and it was an awesome show. I was really impressed.
All right, so then you did not discuss beforehand you coming up?
No, I really didn't say more than 30 words to him, and then, yeah.
How did he do it?
Basically, like, called me up on stage.
Yeah.
So it was obvious, pretty much, to me, anyway, that it was going to be the last song or jam or whatever of the night, and he called me up on stage. Like, he started talking about what happened, and he was like, I met this young man earlier, he was outside.
Oh, you thought you were going to get a shout out,
Yeah, I was like, maybe he's talking about someone else that's here, and then he started talking about waiting in the rain with my guitar and stuff, and I was like, yeah.
Jukebox hero.
I was like, no one else did that. That was me. And so he said, I was like, yeah, cool, thanks for shouting me out. And then he was like, if you're still here, I'd like you to come up on stage and play with me. And so...
How fast could you move?
Right, yeah. I was sitting at right where the rail is at one of the balcony seats. And so I, like...
you leaped off the balcony?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that could have been a better entrance, but, yeah, so I kind of... Not right at the balcony where you could jump off, but, like, the row behind that, I jumped off the rail, went into the aisle, ran down the steps, like...
Made sure he saw you coming.
Yeah, I jumped down the steps and ran all the way down there.
Breathless now.
Yeah, I was, I really tried not to freak out too much, because I was like, well, you got to play in a second, so it's all, it's just normal playing.
Yeah, you don't want to geek out too bad. He'd be thinking, man, I did the wrong thing.
Right. Yeah, no, I ran down the steps and got into the lobby area, and they were like, the security guards were like, "There's no running," and I was like, "No, this is
you don't understand.
Yeah, this you don't understand. This is special.
I'm on a mission
business.
from God.
Yeah,
he's right up there. He's wearing polka dots.
I'm on a mission to God.
Yeah,
and so yeah, I mean, I just ran all the way down to the stage, and one of the security guards at the stage was like, "Nope, you're not getting up there. And one of the ladies down there was like, it's okay, it's him. So I ran up on
the chosen one.
Yeah.
It's Neo.
Exactly. I ran up on stage and went up to him, and I was like, what now, And one of his roadies or guitar tech or whatever, he was like, hey, come here.
Guitar tech.
Yeah, and so he handed me one of Buddy's guitars, and I got to play Buddy's guitar.
What was it?
It was
curiosity.
It was one of his Stratocasters. It was, one of his normal white on white.
Yeah,
with
he's big into white on white. He wears polka dots.
Right.
He can get away with it. Not many people can. Don't try it, DeMarlon. But he can, and he always has. He also was way into crowd mixing before wireless guitars, wireless mics. He just got very long cords. Don't know if you've ever had a chance to see the movie Festival Express. It is right after Woodstock. Same promoters have this great idea. They get the Grateful Dead, the band, Janis Joplin, Buddy Guy, a couple of others, and they put them on this big train, and they go across Canada. And they're going to do 5 major shows. And because it was post-Woodstock, everybody thought it was going to be free.
Yeah.
Woodstock wasn't supposed to be free. The first one, I think they got about 50% of the people to pay before similar things happened. Gates came down. The second one, the mayor of the town, I can't remember if it was where it was, Toronto, Winnipeg, wherever, and he said, our people deserve a free concert.
Right.
Well, music should be free, said the mayor, who I'm sure, got a nice salary, enlarged, checks on the side, under the table, but he wanted them to play for free. So they knew from the beginning it was going to be a wash financially, but they're going to go ahead and enjoy anyway. Buddy had the longest cord I've ever seen, and he went way out into the crowd, back to where, he can't hear his monitor anymore. He's got to depend on his band to keep up with him, and he always did that. Now I understand he did that day. He went up, balcony, disappears into the lobby, wanders around, never quits playing.
Right.
That's one of his signatures.
Right. Well, I didn't know that about that, but that's pretty cool. I didn't know that. He must have had that cord specially made.
Yes, it was.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was. Those hoses you get now that collapse.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it was. I think he might have invented that technology, as a matter of fact. So, what song was it?
It was, I don't even know.
Just a jam.
It was really just a jam in G minor, but there was some words, and I'd never heard the song before. So I might have, but I didn't.
Well, surely, God, you've YouTubed it by now.
Right.
So, do we know what it is?
I have no idea what it is. If anyone, do you know what it is, tomorrow?
Nope. Well, I'll be hornswoggled. All right. Well, here's what I want to do. I want you to play a little something live.
Cool.
But I still need a little bit more information. You're how old?
I'm 15.
15.
Yeah.
All right. You realize you are now touched.
Yeah.
You are a miraculous young person. Buddy Guy was a legend then. We're talking about Festival Express. We're talking 69, 70. And he was given much respect. Jimi Hendrix would not have existed without Buddy Guy.
Right.
The legendary story, his huge first coming out concert in the UK, where he hit before he hit big over here.
Yeah.
He didn't show up on time. They said, "Oh man, isn't Buddy Guy playing in town tonight?" Yeah, he's playing over at the Hammersmith Odeon, wherever. And they go over there, and sure enough, who's sitting on the front stage, row?
Yeah.
Jimi Hendrix, watching every move. They, dude, you got a concert to play. We got to go.
Yeah.
There is nobody alive that I know of, and I've had a chance to talk to him that can touch him. Scott Holt out of Murfreesboro got up on stage with him last time he was here, so he does like introducing new talent. I asked him in an interview one time, who is the young, hot rod, gunslinger out there that is impressing you? And he goes, well, you want to check out the shirt I'm wearing. He goes, you wouldn't believe it, but John Mayer is the best blues guitarist in the country today. They just won't let him play the blues. He makes too much money playing that sappy crap.
Right.
So I went to see the Dead Company with much trepidation, being a deadhead, and he passed all tests with flying colors.
Yeah.
He did not do My Body as a Wonderland, and he just tore it up, very individual style. But what makes Buddy so unique is he can play everybody's style.
Right.
He can play. I mean, shout a guitar's name, and he can shift in mid chord and suddenly sound like that person.
Yeah.
When did you pick up on Buddy Guy?
I picked not immediately when I got into guitar, but definitely within the first couple of years, maybe 2 or 3 years after I started playing guitar, which was maybe about 3 or 4 years ago.
So you've been playing 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. And once I discovered him, the first chance I even got to see him play on like YouTube or, a special on TV or whatever, I was like, this guy's awesome. He's the real deal. But
Well, I know he did at the Kennedy Performing Arts Center when he was inducted. You look up there; they always do one musician, one actor, one ballerina who are always just look like they're
yeah,
just their panties are too tight. But Buddy's
there's nothing wrong with that.
Buddy's beaming, man. He's clearly having the time of his life, and everybody's coming out there. Here comes Jeff Beck, and here comes Gary Clark Jr. And just all these folks out there just doing just everything they can to impress Buddy. He doesn't care. He's having a ball. He's hanging out with Michelle, and just he's just one of the coolest guys in the world. But still, most people are not aware of him.
Right.
Here's B.B. King's name recognition. Here's Buddy's.
Right.
Buddy's a better player. B.B. King would tell you. I mean, there's no comparison.
Well, they're different styles, definitely.
Yeah, without a doubt. B.B. didn't sing and play at the same time. B.B. played little, staccato solos and let everybody else do the heavy lifting. That was his thing. Had great charisma.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break and come back, and I'm going to let you do something, whether you jam or whether you name the song, totally up to you.
Cool.
I said I was going to play something from a really, really hot guitarist. I started looking around and realized that probably the best thing I had was Deep Purple, just inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And this is Machine Head. This is their classic. They put a lot of legendary talent through that band in a short period of time. This is the best of the lineups, in my opinion. 11:43. But when we come back, we'll play something even more in tune, and then we'll let the young man here do what he does. And I'm assuming it is something you're going to pursue.
Yes, sir.
All right, I hope you do. 11:43, Fred the Show, Talk Monster on a Friday and a payday. Hence my sort of less curmudgeonly attitude. See, how many people have heard this song? How many people have heard this version of the song? Stay all night, stay a little longer. Do 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 do. Okay, y'all, go to the corner. This is what Buddy does. All right, he can take anything and make Happy Birthday and make it sound like epic meltdown time. Well, he's come and gone. Hopefully, he'll be back again one day. A very lucky young man, Skyler Ellis, was pulled up on stage, and I'm sure people's expectations were low. They probably figured you could chord a little bit, but apparently you're pretty darn good. Who's your teacher?
I don't have to.
You're just self-taught?
Yeah.
All right, you're killing me. All right, you're killing me. I just dying here. I actually did have a chance to do this with you too. I was right there. Scott Chase was with me, as a matter of fact.
Oh, really?
And they said, "Does anybody out there can anybody out there do a C and a G chord?" Both of us could, and both of us just stood there holding our arms down. And some idiot got up there, and he couldn't anymore play. And they got another guy up there who started trying to solo, and the Edge just yanked the guitar away from him. They just blew their shot. So you clearly made the most of it. So let me shut up, and I'll ask you a couple questions after you're through. Play something for us, Skyler.
All right.
On Fred the Show Live. y'all recognize that as Hey Joe, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Various variations on that one. I've heard Buckwheat Zydeco do it. Otis Taylor do it on the banjo, always interesting. Good old murder ballad's hard to beat. But difference between going from electric to acoustic, rather remarkable.
Yeah, well, thanks. I mean, definitely acoustic guitars are a lot harder to.
I was going to say, you're thanking me. I could tell by your body language. I mean, the electric guitar space is nowhere near as far. You don't have to press down as hard.
Yeah.
I know a lot of electric guitarists who would not do what you just did.
Yeah, he doesn't have an acoustic right now. He sold them all, so he.
They literally would not. They wouldn't pick up an electric and play. An acoustic, just purely because they say, "I just don't have the finger strength for it." And these are incredible guitarists.
Yeah.
But do you sing as well? Clearly, you didn't on that one.
I mean, geez, I'll do whatever you want me to do, but
Oh no, I'm just asking.
I don't really sing that much. No.
Well, you don't have to. We had Robin Trower in town. He's one of the best guitarists out there, and doesn't sing a lick. And shouldn't. Carlos Santana even more. Have you ever heard Carlos Santana sing? My God, it sounds like two cats caught in a garbage disposal. You're lucky if you have one gift.
Yeah.
So is that yours?
This is not mine.
You had to borrow one. That's to bring it in here.
Yeah,
we do have electricity. Next time, just bring a monitor, little mouse amp.
Cool.
But what do you normally play?
What do you mean, like guitar-wise?
Yeah, guitar.
I usually play my 2015 Gibson Les Paul Standard, but I do play. I do have quite a few other guitars, and another one that I like to play is my 2015 Gibson Les Paul Double Cut Special.
All right.
So yeah.
One day you'll have your own Gibson signature guitar.
Right. Well, yeah. I do like Gibson a lot, and I like Fender a lot too. They both have their own versions of sounds and ways to play guitar and stuff. But
Robin mentioned Robin Trower. I call him Robin. The original guitarist for Procol Harum, and an incredible solo career. He said he is not like Willie Nelson, who if without his guitar he doesn't play.
Yeah.
He has his guitar. B.B. King had Lucille.
Yeah.
There had been more than one Lucille over time.
Totally.
Still, there was only one Lucille at a given time.
Right.
And then you go see somebody like Joe Satriani, or Robert Fripp, California Guitar Trio. People trained by him, and they've got 74 guitars.
Yeah.
Their guitar tech is a full-time overtime job, and it's like air traffic controller. You're going to die of stress at some point. Jerry Garcia had 3.
Yeah.
The Stella Blue, which did not get played very often, and then he had Wolf and Spider, and that was it. Yeah. Do you see yourself being eventually the one with 74 on stage, or do you think you'll probably stick with a couple?
Definitely. I feel like I'll definitely change the way I do that as I get older. But as of now, I really don't feel like I'll play that many guitars on stage. But I'm definitely gonna have a lot of guitars.
Well, I was gonna say, for nothing else in the collection, dance with the one what brung you. If it works, it works.
Yeah, right.
One of the greatest guitar collections in the world is in this town. It is not open for public consumption, but it soon will be. And that's all I can say.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. He's got a pretty good start. How many do you have?
I have about 14, and I've owned a lot of guitars, probably about 30 or 40.
Mom?
But no, I buy all of them.
You do it yourself?
Not anymore. I haven't bought a guitar in a while. The last two, the special and the standard, those were Christmas presents.
A lot of people are saying, "Why aren't you in school?"
Right? Yeah. Well.
Because this is better.
This is why would I not?
Yeah, what a dumb question. That's what I tell them.
Yeah.
Where do you attend?
Yeah, I go to Hickson High School.
You want to give a shout out to anybody or dog anybody in particular?
No,
feel free. As far as it goes, the style that you are going after that you're most comfortable with, genre, and if there's anybody that practices it that you think is the best.
I'll tell you my top 5 favorite guitarists: Buddy Guy, Trey Anastasio.
From Fish.
Yes, totally. That's my favorite band.
Very underrated guitarist, actually.
Totally, yeah. He's an awesome guitarist. And Jimi Hendrix, Eric Clapton, and Jimmy Page.
So you pretty much sticking with the standards,
Right.
Other than Trey would throw maybe some. I don't think that's people who haven't seen him.
Yeah, well, Trey's. I didn't really discover Trey until after here recently. I mean, I've always known who Fish is, and I've always liked Fish, but I've never realized how awesome he was until here recently. And the way he plays is a lot like mine. I'm not saying I'm as good as him, but
you know who he plays like? This man right here.
Yeah,
Frank Zappa. People always talked about Fish sounding like the Grateful Dead. They don't sound anything like the Grateful Dead.
Well,
they sound much more like the Mothers of Invention and Zappa. And Zappa was an underrated guitarist, but the chord progressions, the super fast changes, and weird instrumentation. But his style, to me, sounds much more like Zappa. Are you familiar with him much?
I am, but they're not. I don't like them as much as a lot of bands. I really don't like them that much, but
I could pick out a few for you.
Yeah, well, I haven't. And really listened to them
as far, and I'll let you play out, and we'll call it a day here on Fred the Show. But favorite solo, favorite moment, guitar moment, anywhere on record.
Well, a lot of people think I'm crazy for this, but my favorite guitar solo of all time is "While My Guitar Gently Weeps."
Really? No, there's nothing wrong with that.
That's my favorite.
Well, I tell you what, that's the sign of him having a heart attack over there. That my guitar tech means we got to go. Play us out. You're the bumper music. Thank you for swinging by.
Cool.
And thanks to everybody out there for being a Fred head. And appreciate you listening. McMahon Law Firm. I love you. 265-1100. If you're in trouble, go get Jay and Brent on your side. Just play something, and then he'll play a commercial. Don't be bashful.
Cool. All right.